Sin City is in a slump, and Canadians are partly to blame. Now, travel in Vegas is down about 11%, according to some of the figures that we've gotten from the Visitors and Convention Center. We can show our audience some of these figures. Some Americans are holding back, as well because of some higher fees. There's fewer perks for gamblers. But when you look at the airline data, you can see there has been an even sharper decline in the number of Canadians. The number of Air Canada passengers, that's down 33% year over year. WestJet, the largest Canadian carrier to Vegas, their traffic is off about 31%. And then low-cost carrier Flair, it's off a stunning 62% year over year. And so the casinos are hurting, their stocks are down, and some of the CEOs of these major resorts are specifically mentioning Canada as the reason for their softer than expected results. I listened in on their quarterly conference calls, and the CEO of MGM Resorts said Canadian traffic has dropped off since the beginning of the year. There was a major dip after Trump launched the trade war, and it hasn't recovered. The leader of Caesars Entertainment, another major operator along the Strip, says Canadians are a big reason why there are so many rooms that have gone empty over the last number of months. So I can tell you that this phenomenon has not gone unnoticed by some of the casino bigwigs. So I spoke to one expert at the University of Nevada to find out just what sort of impact this has had on the local economy. He crunched the numbers for me very generously, and he found that Canadians contributed about $3.6 billion U.S. to the local economy last year, supporting 43,000 jobs in Las Vegas alone. That's more than manufacturing. That's more than the utility sectors. It's nearly as big as what the major Air Force base in the region contributes. And that's saying something because they have 15,000 military personnel working on that base. So, if this boycott continues, there could be job losses. And that's really a problem because Nevada, it already has the second highest unemployment rate in the U.S.
Catastrophic loss to tourism in Florida just from Canadians.
A lot of them will not come because of Trump and what was going on with Canada. They just don't want to come and spend their money here. The cost of living here has changed a lot. Everything went up.
It's no secret Canadian snowbirds haven't been flocking to South Florida lately. President Trump's immigration rules and tariffs have caused controversy in Canada.
The greater Fort Lauderdale is expecting up to 150,000 fewer visitors from Canada. They make up one of the largest groups of international visitors to South Florida. According to Visit Lauderdale, Canadian visitors...
Trump has cost South Florida $90 million and climbing just from Canadians. Just from Canadians. But wait, it gets worse. Did you know the entire world is boycotting the United States of America in tourism? Did you know that we are right now on track to lose $31 billion in tourism alone just in 2025, and that is an estimate. And yes, it has grown. Trump is destroying the USA. Do you agree? Have you canceled your trips to the USA? Drop your comments below.
And a lot of the reasons why we're seeing job cuts 75% more now than they were this time under the Biden administration also is Canada led an international boycott against the United States of America. We're not buying your products if you treat us like crap. You want to test us, Donald? International tourism boycott. We're not going to the United States. Las Vegas is suffering. Florida is suffering. Arizona, lots of states are suffering because Canadians, Palm Springs is suffering. Canadians would normally be traveling to the United States. They're skipping over and going to Mexico or they're going elsewhere. And Canada is buying Canada. They're not buying American products. They've inspired Australia to do the same. What's up, Midas Mates? They've inspired Europe to do the same, and Africa and elsewhere to do the same.
It's been a long time since United States became a center of attention. But now we have seen many people reporting their tourism industry is now dying. Why? My name is Lick. In today's video, we are going to talk about how Canadians are now boycotting United States products and fly to Mexico instead of United States for vacation. Why? It's because Donald Trump is the one who started trading war. We got more video like this. Remember that credit goes to the owner of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it.
I thank Donald Trump for the boycott that we're currently receiving in the United States from Canadians. I know most of you may not be feeling this or may not see it yet, completely unaware because you don't see it in your daily life. But just let me tell you this. I had a couple of riders this week, both from Toronto. Both are coming down to see family. One had a newborn baby in the family and the trip had been scheduled for a while. And the other had a sick family member that they needed to come see. And they both told me basically these stories. Number one, that when they went to the airport, that the U.S. Customs, and for Canada, you get on the U.S. Customs and in Canada, that there was like nobody in line. And that both planes were like half full as opposed to being completely full. And usually there's a 2-hour wait or more that they told me. They also told me that because of Donald Trump and because of his tariffs with Canada and the way that they have been treated by Trump, they are boycotting every single product in Canada that is made in the United States. You can go to the grocery stores in Canada and there would be for the U.S. products, for example, Lay's potato chips and all the chips and all the stuff from the U.S. completely full. Not a one, they're on sale. She said they're on sales price for $2.97. Nobody's touching it. The Canadian chips, the Canadian food, all the Canadian right beside it, cleaned out. Shelves are cleaned out. Same thing with soup. American soup, stock full, Canadian soup cleaned out. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, not touching a single drop from the United States. Everything from Canada, they're buying. And that the Canadians also are canceling their trips to the United States. I see this on a couple of other videos I've posted. I've had several 100,000 responses. And same thing. They're canceling. You read the news and listen to the news in Canada, they're canceling everything. I've been asked to be on a radio talk show in Vancouver, Canada to discuss all of this. And they are angry and upset with Donald Trump in the United States. And the rest of us are going to pay for it. So same thing with hotels, same thing with those that are in high tourist destinations from Canada, Florida, in particular, South Florida, Orlando, other parts of the U.S., you all are going to start to feel it. If you work for these companies that make these products that are sold in Canada, they're not going to be moving. So they're going to start not needing you to work as many hours. Over time, it takes time for all this to work back through, where you're not going to be needed as much because the Canadians are buying nothing made from the United States. I had one of my followers on here tell me that he bought $400 worth of food at the grocery store and bought only one item that was made in the United States because he could not find there was a Canadian product to change whatever he needed to change, whatever it was. And that was the only reason he bought that one. They're not buying, and we will feel it. Thank you, Donald Trump. The American people will pay for your decisions on tariffs and the way you treat our friends. Same thing in Europe, everybody's angry, but this is a specific situation with Canada that I can speak to, that I also have been talking to, that I've got thousands and thousands of people that have commented on my post here on TikTok and on other social media, and they're not buying, and they are not buying. They're not buying until Donald Trump is out of the office. When he and J.D. Vance are gone, they'll buy American products again, but not until. There you have it. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. If you have any other experiences with the Canadians, or any of my Canadians want to pipe in and fill the rest of Americans, ears full, because, they aren't particularly, I taught social studies, government, economics, American history, world history for many years, and it's amazing. They're just unaware of anybody else in the rest of the world because they only think me, 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 me. They're going to see how much me get them with his orange Jesus. There you have it.
I love this man because every time when I'm going to look for a video to do a reactions, when I found his video, I cannot skip it because otherwise has good information. So let's go back to the business, how Canadians now decide to help their government to boycott USA products. I love the fact that the citizens of Canada as a country, they decide not buying US product until the orange man stepped down from the office. Can you imagine? Do you think it will happen? I don't know. But I love when people stand for their country, because Donald Trump is always disrespect Canada, and he forget that is better country when you compare to United States. I don't know how you guys think. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Hope you like it. Drop your comment, subscribe. See you on another one. I love you guys.